and welcome to this Product Management Interview Questions and Answers session by Intellipaat. If you have a background in computer science but don't particularly enjoy coding, product management could be an excellent career option for you because it offers a balance of technical knowledge, creativity, and leadership. Additionally, it has been recognized as one of the best jobs of 2023 by the #One World's Top Job site, Indeed. If you're concerned regarding salaries, an article by the Economic Times reports that a product manager with 0 to 3 years of experience earns an average starting salary of over 6 lakhs per year, with potential earning reaching as high as 80 lakhs per year. Clearly, product management is one of the most highest paying and in-demand careers today. However, stepping into the product management roles can feel challenging, especially if you're unsure where to start from. It's completely normal to feel overwhelmed by the skills and expectations required. But don't worry, because that's where this video comes in. Whether you're preparing for your first interview or looking to refine your skills, this video will guide you through some of the most common and challenging product management interview questions along with strategies to help you present your best answers and leave a strong impression on hiring managers. Without wasting any more time, let's jump right in. In this interview questions video, we have organized the content into 10 different topics with 2 questions per topic. This approach ensures we cover a wide range of areas that you might encounter during your product management interview. So now let's look at the topics that we're going to cover during this video. We'll be starting with product strategy and vision, followed by market research and customer insights. Next, we'll have product development lifecycle, go-to-market strategy or GTM strategy, stakeholder management, product metrics and KPIs or key performance indexes, problem solving and critical thinking, user experience and design, leadership and team management. Finally, we'll be wrapping this content up with business understanding. So let's jump into the first topic we're going to cover in this particular video, that is product strategy and vision. The first question that we have on my list is, how do you define and communicate a product vision to ensure alignment across various teams? As a product manager, it's crucial to clearly define your product's vision. That is, putting your ideas into words that are able to communicate its purpose and its vision to the rest of the team. And an even more important aspect is that the rest of your team is on the same page with your idea. Now, the interviewer wants to check how you are able to do this. So you can break your answer down into smaller points so that you're able to cover all these aspects. Start with the process, followed by the collaboration part, communication part, vision and execution, and wrap it up with the feedback. How? Let's look. Start with the process by clearly defining the steps you take to create and communicate the product vision. This will showcase your systematic approach to product management. Next, talk about collaboration. Highlight how you involve various stakeholders like the designing team, engineering team, marketing team, sales team, etc. in the process. Now, this will show your ability to foster teamwork and collaboration across various departments. Once you have defined the idea in the process stage, it obviously comes down to how you're going to involve the rest of the teams with you in the process so that all of you can work towards a common goal. Next comes the very important aspect, the communication. Naturally, you will have both technical and non-technical teams working under you. So as a product manager, it is up to you as to how you are able to define the same message to both the different teams. This is where communication comes into play because strong communication skills will help you to tailor your message according to your audience. Moving on, we have vision and execution. Now, it's very common that once you start executing the product's development lifecycle, you might lose track of the initial vision of the product. Now, highlight to the interviewer that you can use certain strategies like product roadmaps or performance metrics that will ensure that there is an alignment between the vision and the execution of the product. Next, we have feedbacks. Now, this is again very crucial. If you are aware of agile methodology, you can highlight how you create certain feedback loops that will allow your teams to voice their concerns or suggestions, ensuring that the vision is always relevant and you're adaptive to changing circumstances. This is to highlight to the interviewer that you are open to suggestions, but you are capable enough to only accept the suggestions that will lead to the product being developed in such a way that it caters to the business's goals and the overall product's vision. With this question, you can demonstrate to the interviewer that you are open to suggestions, but you are capable enough to take only the suggestions which will lead to the product being developed in such a way that it aligns with the business's goals, but it also caters to the market needs at the same time. Now let's look at the sample answer, which caters to all the processes that I've mentioned before. To define and communicate a product vision effectively, I start by gathering insights from customer needs, market research, and company goals. This helps create a clear and compelling vision that answers the why behind the product, ensuring it's aligned with both customer value and business objectives. Collaboration. I involve key stakeholders early, including engineering, design, marketing, and sales team, to ensure their input is reflected and they feel a sense of ownership. Communication. When communicating the vision, I focus on using simple, consistent messaging tailored for both technical and non-technical teams, ensuring that everyone understands and supports the decision. Vision and execution. To maintain alignment, I link the vision to day-to-day execution by incorporating it into the product roadmap, so teams can see how their work contributes to the larger goal. Feedback. Regular check-ins and updates keep the vision top of mind, while feedback loops provide opportunities to adapt the vision based on new insights or challenges. Let's move on to the next question. Can you walk me through how you prioritize features on a product roadmap? With this question, the interviewer is checking your commitment to understanding the customer's needs and using those insights to make informed decisions. In today's fast-paced world, priorities can shift quickly, and the interviewer is assessing whether you can adapt to these changing circumstances while keeping the product vision intact. Additionally, the interviewer might also be interested in checking your knowledge of different frameworks and tools. Now, if you were to create a sample answer that incorporates all 4 of these features, here's how it would look like. I gather inputs from cross-functional stakeholders, including engineering, design, and sales team, to incorporate diverse perspectives and insights into the prioritization process. As for prioritizing features on a product roadmap, I start by defining clear criteria such as customer impact, business value, implementation effort, and urgency, ensuring decisions are made based on consistent metrics. Vision. Additionally, I analyze customer feedback and data to identify critical pain points that needs addressing. Once features are prioritized, I create a visual roadmap to communicate timelines and dependencies clearly to the team. Frameworks and tools. Utilizing frameworks like RISE, that is Reach, Impact, Confidence, Effort, or MOSCO, must have, should have, could have, won't have, I evaluate and rank the features based on their potential value and feasibility. Moving on to the next topic, market research and customer insights. How do you conduct market research to identify customer needs? We talked about market research a lot, but there are certain frameworks that can help you conduct the right kind of market analysis. Frameworks that can provide you with an outline with what you are looking for. With this question, the interviewer is trying to figure out if you have the knowledge about such frameworks which will help you to figure out what you need to look for. This question highlights how well you prioritize user feedback in product development. In short, the interviewer is trying to understand how you find the data and how well you can use this data. There are certain frameworks that will help you to accomplish this, starting with the jobs to be done, which focuses on understanding the specific tasks or jobs that customers are trying to accomplish in their lives. Next, you have the design thinking framework, which is a human-centered approach to innovation that empathizes empathy and understanding of the user's needs. So now let's look at how you can utilize the jobs to be done framework. Start with identifying the job or the need of the customer. You can start by conducting qualitative research such as interviews or focus groups to understand the core job customers are trying to accomplish. Next, you can define these job statements that can capture the functional, emotional, and social dimensions of the job. For example, if my problem is that I want to eat healthier meals, but I have limited time during the week, I can define the job statement as I want to cook healthy meals quickly because I have limited time during the week. Next, you can segment them by jobs. That is, identify different customer segments based on the jobs they accomplish. Next, you can analyze the competitors. That is, assess how existing products or services address these jobs and identify gaps where customer needs are not being met so that your product can fill in these gaps. Next, you have the design thinking framework, where it starts with empathizing with the users. That is, engaging with the customers through interviews, observations, and immersion to understand their experiences, feelings, and pain points. Next, you can define your problem statement. This statement should articulate the user's needs and the context in which they arise. Next, you can ideate a potential solution to the problem. Brainstorm potential solutions to address the identified customer needs. Next, you can build a prototype. Develop low fidelity prototypes of the most promising ideas. Last but not least, conduct a test with the prototypes to gather feedbacks. Now, if I were to incorporate this into a sample answer, here's how it would look like. When conducting market research to identify customer needs, I utilize two primary frameworks, jobs to be done and design thinking. With the JTBD framework, I focus on understanding the specific tasks customers aim to accomplish. This involves conducting interviews to uncover the jobs they need to complete and creating job statements that define their desired outcome. I also assess competitors to identify gaps in the market where customer needs are unmet. On the other hand, the design thinking frameworks allows me to adopt a human-centered approach. I begin by empathizing with customers through observations and interviews, defining their needs and brainstorming potential solutions. Prototyping and testing these ideas with users provide valuable feedback, enabling me to iterate and refine solutions that align closely with customer expectations. By combining these frameworks, I ensure a comprehensive understanding of customer needs and develop effective solutions that drive data. Now let's look at the next question. What methods do you use to gather and analyze user feedback? This is a direct question intended to understand how much you know about different methodologies available in the market. Again, this question also aims to understand your ability to analyze and interpret the meaningful data from a pile of data. One important factor to consider here is that there are a lot of frameworks available in the market. All of these, although have the same intent, but use cases can vary significantly depending upon the situation. The interviewer is evaluating your ability to select the correct framework according to your situation, or how you adjust certain pre-existing methods to fit exactly with your needs. So you can start by mentioning a variety of methods for collecting feedbacks, such as surveys, interviews, usability tests, customer support data, NPS or Net Promoter Score, and social media listings. Show that you understand the importance of both qualitative and quantitative feedback. Here's a sample answer. To gather and analyze customer feedback, I employ a combination of surveys, interviews, and social media monitoring. Surveys are distributed through email and online platforms to capture quantitative data, while one-on-one interviews provide qualitative insights into customer experiences and preferences. Additionally, I analyze social media channels to identify trends and sentiments regarding our product. Once the feedback is collected, I use data analysis tools to identify patterns and themes, allowing me to make informed decisions that enhance customer satisfaction and inform product improvements. This comprehensive approach ensures that we capture diverse perspectives and respond effectively to customer needs. Moving on, we have the product development life cycle. With the first question, can you explain the end-to-end product development process and your role in it? The reason behind this question is to check your understanding of the entire product's life cycle and to analyze your contributions within that process. You can start by outlining the complete product development process from the idea generation to the post-launch part. Highlight your specific responsibilities at each point. Here's a sample answer. The end-to-end product development process begins with identifying a product need or a problem, followed by conducting research to identify customer requirements and market trends. As a product manager, my role is to define the product vision and strategy, translating those insights into clear product requirements and creating a roadmap. I collaborate closely with cross-functional teams, including design, engineering, and marketing, to ensure the product is developed according to specifications and stays on track with the timeline. Throughout the development, I prioritize features, manage the backlog, and facilitate communication to keep all the teams aligned. Once the product is built, I oversee the testing phase to ensure it meets quality standards, and I coordinate the launch, working with marketing and sales to drive adoption. Post-launch, I analyze customer feedback and product performance to identify areas for improving, guiding iterative updates and future development cycles. Next, we have how do you determine when a product is ready for release or needs further iteration? With this question, The interviewer is trying to assess your decision-making process in managing product quality and user satisfaction. This will help the interviewer understand if you can deliver a product on time while ensuring it meets user expectations and business objectives. While answering this question, make sure to mention predefined success criteria, KPIs, and quality standards, demonstrating that you make your decision based on measurable outcomes, highlighting that you are data-driven. Here's a sample answer. To determine when a product is ready for release or requires further iteration, I rely on a combination of factors, including meeting the predefined success criteria, user testing results, and marketing readiness. First, I ensure that the product has met all key performance indicators and aligns with the initial business goals. Additionally, I analyze feedback from beta testing and user testing to identify any critical issues or areas for improvement. If the product meets quality standards and there is no significant blockers, it's considered ready for release. However, if testing reveals any major usability concerns or unmet customer needs, further iteration may be necessary to ensure the product delivers optimal value to users. Ultimately, the decision is a balance between delivering a high-quality product and adhering to timelines. Moving on to the next topic, that is the GTM strategy or the go-to-market strategy. Here's a question. What steps do you take when planning a product launch? For these kind of questions, you can talk about the post-launch analysis frameworks that you're aware of. And one such wonderful framework that we have in the market is the A3R3 funnel framework or the Pirate Metrics framework, which is awareness, acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral. Starting with awareness. This is the stage where potential customers first become aware of your product or brand through various marketing efforts, where customers come to know that your product exists through your marketing efforts. Now, what do I mean by marketing efforts? You have social media such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, where you can advertise about your product. Next, you have content marketing, where you can write blogs, articles, white paper, infographics, and videos. Next, you have SE marketing or search engine optimization marketing, where you can display paid ads on Google and other search engines. Paid ads on Google are a wonderful example. If I go to product management course, if I do this, then here are certain courses that are sponsored by Google. This is what I mean by paid advertisement on Google. Coming back to our topic, we have display advertising. Display advertising is basically the banners, videos, and images that you see on different platforms, which can again bring users for your website. Next, you have acquisition. This is a stage where you attract potential customers and get them engaged with your products or services. This is the part where you focus on turning individuals who are aware of your brand into visitors or leads by bringing them into your website, app, and store. Now, there are two sets of people. One who visit your website and immediately leave, and the second who enter your website and they start interacting with them. That is the acquisition stage where you make them interact with your website. And for that, you can have A and B testing, which is the famous A and B testing, which is basically testing out 2 or more versions of your product to see which one works best with a certain group of users or with the generalized group of users. Here you can experiment with different messaging, visuals, and landing pages to see which version is performing the best. And then whichever version was performing the best, you can generalize it for the rest of the public. Then you also have personalization, which is tailoring the acquisition experience to different customer segments. Now, this is a very classic example let's take the example of Netflix. Now, a person who's above 20s Netflix account has a very high chance of being very different from a person who is over 30 years of age. So that is where the personalization factor comes in. A person below 20 years might like to watch a certain kind of content, and a person over 30 years might prefer watching a different type of content. Next, you have funnel optimization. This is basically minimizing the friction points in a user journey from clicking an ad to becoming a lead. Say, if you're displaying an advertisement, if you have a clothing store and you're displaying on your advertising that you will get 50% off, and then the user comes to your website and it turns out that that was just a fake propaganda, that was not there. You just did it so that the people will come. Don't do that. That is the funnel optimization. Whatever you're displaying on the advertising, make sure to deliver it to your users as well. Next, we have activation, the part where leads or new users are turned into active and engaged customers, the part where your users actually start using your products on a daily basis. To make sure that they continue using your product, you can use email and in-app messaging. The best example I can think of right now is Zomato. the way they keep on sending you notification throughout the day just to make sure that you're reminded that the app is existing. A lot of users actually see these messages, and the way they personalize the messages as well, a lot of them are compelled. Just when they look at the message, they're like, okay, now I should buy this because I saw this, because the message was so personal that you end up buying the product. That is email and in-app messaging, sending welcome emails, product tips, or reminders to help users stay engaged and learn about important features. Next, you have personalized content that we have already talked about in Netflix's case. Then we have push notifications, again, notifications which are sent in order to remind users that the app exists and certain features also exist, so that they will keep on using the app for a longer duration. Next, you have retention. Now, the prime focus of retention is so that the customers who once started using your product continue to use your product, or they keep coming back to use your product over a longer period of time. Now, how to calculate retention? You have churn rate, which takes the percentage of users who stop using your product or cancel their subscription after a certain period of time. Next, you have the customer lifetime value, or also known as the CLTV, which measures how much revenue a customer generates over the entire time they use your product. Now, this can be like if I subscribe to Hotstar and I watch their content for a certain amount of time, then I lost interest and I left. Then what was my subscription? Which package did I bought? Or if we talk about Zomato, how much food did I buy on Zomato? How much revenue could they make out of me? What was the profit they made out of me as a customer? That is what CLTV means. Then you have cohort analysis. Now, cohort means a group of people. You can take the example of, say, a group of people who started using your product from the January of 2025, which is yet to arrive. And you can compare the users. How many people are using your services from January 2025? Or how many people are using your services from November 2024? How are their retention rates varying over time with the new features that you're updating? Which group of users are more likely to stay on your website? How are different set of users interacting with your website? Next, you have engagement metrics, which can track how often a user is logging in and which feature they use the most and how long they spend using your product. Such as if I am a user who's logging into Zomato, which kind of food am I looking at? Which duration of the day am I more likely to log in? Do I prefer breakfast a lot? Do I look for lunches a lot? Or am I looking for dinner? Or am I more interested in snacks? In that way, they can personalize my feed also. Next, you have revenue. This is the stage where the retained users are converted into paying customers by and maximizing the value they bring. A wonderful example of this is Hotstar, where once you start using their services, you can initially watch shows there are for free, but to watch their shows in maybe in higher definition in HD, or if some of the Hotstar originals, you have to pay them, you have to subscribe, and that is where you're generating the revenue from your users. So monetization strategies, you can give a freemium model. That's what I'm saying. You can just initially show them the free part of your service and then show them that if you have premium, you will get all of these benefits as well. Next, you have pricing strategies. You can provide them discounts or promotion. Value-based pricing is depending on the demand. Like say if Netflix decides to drop, say, Stranger Things season 5, they're going to generate a huge amount of people. The user base is going to drastically increase. Moving forward, we have upselling and cross-selling. Upselling and cross-selling, the perfect example you can find is Hotstar's pricing model. There. This is upselling and cross-selling, where you are showing them 3 different or more than this. Look at all the comparison and everything they're doing. This is basically upselling and cross-selling. Coming back to our topic, encouraging users to buy more expensive version of the product. Like if you have a normal one, go for full HD premium, like that. Next, you have customer lifetime value, which we already talked about. And the final stage is the referral, where the satisfied customers are turned into advocates who promote your product or services to others, driving organic growth through word of mouth and referrals. A very good example of this will be if I buy a top from Meesho, and then if I really like the top, I'll go to my friend and tell her also, I bought this top from Meesho, I really like this, you should also buy it. And then she'll also go and buy that. So that is organic growth, where Meesho people didn't ask me to go and refer the top. It was me who did it because I really liked their product. That is word of mouth. That is referral. Now, there can be other type of referral as well. like the reward for both parties, the affiliate marketing, the most famous one, where say if there's a content creator, and the content creator promotes a particular product on his or her website. Now, if another person buys this content creator's the whatever the content creator was advertising through the content creator's link, then the website itself through which the product the third person purchased will pay this content creator as well. That is affiliate marketing, a win-win situation. Next, you have the net promoter score, which is used to identify your promoters and your demoters as well. Promoters are the customers who are likely to recommend your product, and demoters are the customers who are likely to badmouth your product. This will also lead to your existing users stop using your services altogether. That's why this becomes important. Next, you have word of mouth, which you already talked about in the Misho example. Then you have influencer referrals, which is again that content marketing, content creator example I took, where an influencer can act as an advocate and promote your product to their audience as well. So from their audience itself, you can maybe find a couple of people who will come and purchase your products as well. So here's a sample answer. When planning a product launch, I begin by setting clear objectives and defining the target audience to ensure alignment with the business goals. I then collaborate with cross-functional teams, including marketing, sales, and customer support to create a detailed launch plan that covers timelines, key messaging, and promotional strategies. Next, I ensure that all the product features are finalized and tested, gathering feedback from beta users to address any last-minute issues. I also develop a go-to-market strategy which includes pricing, distribution, and communication plans to generate buzz and attract early adopters. Finally, I coordinate post-launch activities such as performance tracking, user feedback collection, and addressing any emerging issues to ensure a smooth rollout and continuous improvement. Moving on to the next question, how do you decide on the pricing strategy for a new product? While answering this question, the interviewer checks whether you are analyzing the market, competition, and customer demand before setting the price for a product. Also, are you considering the long-term strategy? As in, how would you account for pricing flexibility, future discounts, and promotions? Here's a sample answer. When deciding on pricing strategy for a new product, I start by conducting thorough market research to understand the competitive landscape, target audience, and their willingness to pay. This includes analyzing competitors' pricing models and identifying the product fits in the market. Next, I consider the product's value proposition by aligning the pricing with the unique benefit it offers the customers. I use a value-based pricing approach when possible, ensuring the price reflects the product's perceived value. Additionally, I evaluate different pricing models, whether it's a subscription, freemium, or one-time purchase, based on the nature of the product and the customer journey. I also factor in the cost structure to ensure profitability and consider long-term pricing flexibility, such as potential discounts, promotion, or tiered pricing. Ultimately, the goal is to balance profitability with competitiveness while ensuring the price resonates with the target market and drives sustainable growth. Moving on to the next topic, stakeholder management. How do you manage conflicting priorities between different stakeholders? When you're answering this question, the interview is mainly focused on your conflict resolution skills, as in how you handle disagreements among stakeholders with different priorities or goals, your decision making, your communication, your prioritization skills. When you're answering this question, don't deny the obvious. Conflicts are very common when you're working in a team. If you have ever worked on a project in college with a team where everybody was contributing equally, if that ever happened, you will know that conflicts are bound to happen. So don't ignore that. Highlight the importance of prioritizing conflicts and the importance of clear and open communication with everyone in the team, including the stakeholders. Focus majorly on the outcome, as in how your approach can ensure alignment, resolve the existing conflicts, and progress towards the overall project goals. Seal your answer up with an example to leave the interviewer speechless. Now, what kind of approach can you use? You can use the Kanban framework, where you can see that everything is splitted into 3 sections: backlog, in progress, and done. In this way, if you have unpredictable workload or need to focus on ongoing tasks and maintenance, everything will be aligned and written and documented, which is more likely to reduce conflicts. Keep in mind that this is for an unpredictable workload. And also, this can be a valuable tool for stakeholder management by providing transparency, enhancing communication, and aligning the overall expectation with the project's progress. Now, like I said before, this is for unpredictable workload, and this is when the work is not defined. But if you need something more rigid and time bound, then we have the Scrum framework. If you can see over here, everything is divided according to the person, which means it's more structured and time-boxed iteration to deliver new features or improvements incrementally. Keep in mind that both Scrum and Kanban are part of the agile methodologies, and as a result, both of them have incremental approach. Now, Scrum framework fosters collaboration, transparency, and continuous feedback through the development process. Here's a sample answer. Managing conflicting priorities between stakeholders is a common challenge, but one that can be effectively handled through clear communication and a structured approach. I start by ensuring that I fully understand each stakeholder's objectives and concerns. Then I evaluate how their priorities align with broader business goals, ensuring that we focus on what will deliver the most value for the project as a whole. Open communication is the key. I hold discussions where stakeholders can voice their needs, and I help facilitate the communication by highlighting the impact of different priorities. For example, in my previous role, I had to balance marketing's push for a faster product launch with engineering's need for more development time. By communicating the potential risk of rushing the product and offering phased solutions, we were able to reach an agreement that worked for both the teams. Ultimately, my approach ensures that we maintain alignment, make informed decisions, and move forward with clarity. Moving forward, let's have our next question. Can you share an example of how you have collaborated with cross-functional team? Now, if you give example-based answers, you can expect these kind of questions, where they'll directly ask you to give a direct answer with an example. The ultimate end goal of the interviewer here is to check if you are capable of facilitating teamwork and cooperating in a way that enhances a project's success. You just talked about how you can incorporate various frameworks to resolve the conflicts. Now they're asking an example of where you have done this. Here, the interviewer is trying to look for the collaboration, how well you work with people from different functions, your problem-solving skills, how you leverage the strengths of various departments to solve complicated problems or achieve a common goal. Then you have coordination, your ability to communicate goals and coordinate actions across various teams. Then your leadership and influence, as in whether you can influence and align teams with different priorities towards a shared outcomes. So here's a sample answer. In my previous role, I collaborated with a cross-functional team to launch a new product feature. The team consisted of engineers, designers, and marketing professionals, each with their own goals and perspectives. Our goal was to develop and promote a feature that met technical standards while also appealing to our target market. I facilitated regular meetings where each department could provide updates, and I made sure that the communication remained transparent and focused. By fostering an open dialogue, I helped align the team on key priorities, such as balancing design aesthetics with technical feasibility. For example, when marketing wanted a visually complex UI, I worked with design and engineering to find a solution that balanced user appeal with development efficiency. The project was successful, delivered on time, and the feature was well received by the customers, showing how cross-functional collaboration can drive impactful results. Moving on to the next topic, product metrics and key performance indexes. We have, what key metrics do you track to measure the success of a product? Now, before moving on to the sample answer, let's look at the key metrics that you're going to use to measure the success of a product. Starting with customer lifetime value, which is, like we have already discussed before, it's a metric used to estimate the total revenue a business can expect from a customer over the entire duration of their relationship. Now, why is this important? It helps decide how much to spend on acquiring new customers. If your existing customers are paying you well enough, then you might not be requiring new customers right now. Then it identifies high-value customers for targeted marketing, encourages focusing on customer retention, as acquiring new customers is often more expensive than the retaining ones, which I discussed right here. Now, there's a formula for measuring this as well, which is the customer value into customer lifespan into profit margin. Now, what's the customer value? Customer value is the average purchase value multiplied by purchase frequency. Lifespan is how long a customer typically stays with the business. Profit margin is to account for the cost involved in acquiring and serving the customers. Next, you have the customer acquisition cost, which is a metric that measures the cost associated with acquiring a new customer. Now, it's important because it helps businesses allocate their marketing and sales budget effectively. When compared to CLTV, it helps determine if the business is spending effectively to acquiring customers. High CAC might indicate inefficiencies or the need for better targeting in marketing campaigns. Now, customer acquisition cost can point out the inefficiencies you have in your marketing campaigns, and it can better your marketing campaigns. Again, there's a formula for this as well, which is the total sales and marketing expense divided by number of customers acquired. Here, the sales and marketing expense includes all the costs associated with campaigns, tools, and salaries, and the number of customers acquired is the total number of new customers which you acquired during the same period in which you created this marketing. Next, you have the costs per lead, which is a marketing metric that measures the cost associated with acquiring a new lead, which is a potential customer who has shown interest in a company's products or services. Now, this is important because this helps assess the effectiveness of different marketing channels and campaigns, assists in optimizing marketing budgets by identifying which channels provide the best return on investment, can indicate the quality of leads generated, as a lower CPL might not always correlate with higher conversion rates. The formula is total marketing expense divided by the number of leads generated. Total marketing expense here is the cost related to campaigns, advertising, and promotional efforts aimed at generating leads. And the number of leads generated is the total number of leads acquired during a specific period. Next, you have the bounce rate. This I even talked about earlier when there are two sets of users, ones who come and once you visit your website and then just directly leave, who leave a website after viewing only one web page without interacting further, and the second set who actually interact with your website. The importance here is that a higher bounce rate means that the visitors who are visiting your website, they are not able to find what they expected, or the content isn't engaging enough. It helps assess the effectiveness of landing pages and the overall content strategy. Search engines may interpret a higher bounce rate as a sign that the site isn't providing valuable information, potentially affecting search rankings. The formula for bounce rate is single page visits divided by total visits whole multiplied by 100. The key elements is that the single page visit refers to visitors who enter the site and exit without clicking on any other pages. Total visits is the total number of entries to the website during a specific period. Next, you have the churn rate, which measures the percentage of customers or subscribers who discontinue their relationship with the business over a specific period of time. Now, a high churn rate indicates problems with customer satisfaction or engagement. A higher churn rate means that there is something wrong with your retention rate. This highlights areas needing improvement. Understanding churns helps predict future revenue and make informed decisions about budgeting and resource allocation. Reducing churn is essential for sustainable growth, as retaining existing customers is generally less expensive than acquiring the new ones. The formula for calculating churn rate is number of customers lost divided by the total number of customers at the start. Number of customers lost is the total number of customers who left during the period. Total number of customers at the start is the total number of customers at the beginning of the period. Last, we have the Net Promoter Score, which measures the customer loyalty and satisfaction by assessing the likelihood of customers recommending a company's product or services to others. Now, the importance is that NPS is a strong indicator of customer loyalty and overall satisfaction. Your word of mouth referral can also increase if you have a higher NPS score. It allows companies to compare their performance against industry standards or competitors. NPS surveys often include open-ended questions, providing qualitative feedback that can be used to enhance products and services. Now, NPS score is calculated by the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. I'm sure you must have heard of the survey questions where they ask you to rate the user experience from 0 to 10. There are promoters who are loyal customers who are likely to recommend and contribute positively to the growth. Then there are passives who are satisfied but they won't recommend it to other people. Then there are detractors who are the unhappy customers who can in turn harm the brand through the negative word of mouth. Here's a sample answer. To measure product success, I track several key metrics that provide insights into customer engagement and financial performance. CLTV helps me understand expected revenue from a customer over their relationship with us, guiding acquisition and retention strategies. I monitor customer acquisition costs to evaluate marketing efficiency and ensure spending aligns with revenue goals. Cost per leads assesses lead generation effectiveness, while bounce rate indicates user engagement on our website. Additionally, I keep an eye on churn rate to understand the customer retention and NPS for insights into customer loyalty and satisfaction. Analyzing these metrics collectively allows me to make data-driven decisions that drive growth and enhance customer satisfaction. Moving on, we have the next question, which is how do you use data to make informed product decisions? Now, this question is also asked to assess your ability to leverage data-driven insights for product management. It is basically to test whether you make objective evidence-based decisions rather than relying solely on your initial assumptions or your intuitions. Here's a sample answer. Using data to make informed product decisions is essential to ensure we are solving the right problem and delivering value to the users. I typically start by gathering both quantitative data such as user behavior metrics and qualitative insights like customer feedback. For example, I analyze user engagement data to identify patterns in feature usage, which helps pinpoint which features are underutilized and why. I also conduct A and B testing to assess how different product changes affect user experience and conversion rates. One time, we noticed a huge drop-off rate during the onboarding process. By analyzing user flow, I discovered that a certain step was confusing. We simplified that step and after implementing the change, saw a 20% increase in user retention. This data-driven approach ensures that we continuously optimize the product based on real user behavior and feedback, leading to better outcome and alignment with the overall business goals. Moving on to our next topic, problem solving and critical thinking. How would you approach improving a product that has been underperforming? Now, this question, along with checking your analytical thinking, also checks your willingness to test, iterate, and refine your solution based on new information and metrics. In the beginning, you had set certain strategies, but unfortunately that didn't work and your product was underperforming. So are you as a product manager willing to change and redefine your solution in order to help this product get better? Testing if you can develop a structured approach to turn around an underperforming product while aligning to the business requirements and customer needs. Here's a sample answer. When approaching an underperforming product, I start by analyzing data and gathering customer feedback to identify the root cause. I would look at metrics such as user engagement, churn rates, and customer satisfaction to see where the product is falling short. Additionally, I'd collect qualitative feedback from customers and internal teams to better understand pain points. Once I have a clear understanding of the issue, I prioritize the most critical areas to focus on whether that's improving the user experience, addressing technical issues, or adjusting the product market fit. I would work closely with cross-functional teams to implement changes in small, testable iterations, such as running A and B tests or launching MVPs of new features. After implementation, I would monitor the impact of these changes by tracking key metrics to ensure that the product is back on track. This approach helps ensure we are addressing the right problems and continuously improving the product. Next question. Can you describe a time when you solved a challenging product issue? How did you approach it? Now, this question again checks your problem solving, your decision making, and how you handle complicated situations. It's an example-based question where you'll have to provide an example. Now, when you're providing an example, make sure to break it down into certain steps, starting with set the context. Describe how you identified the problem and the steps you took to solve it. Next, explain your approach. Emphasize on how you identified the problem and the steps you took to solve it. In the setting the context part, we identified the problem. In the explaining your approach, focus on the steps that you took after you identified the problem. Next, highlight the solution. Now you identified the problem. Now you need a solution. Share the solution you implemented and any other iterations along the way. Obviously, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of approach. So even if you provide one solution, there's a very high chance that that one solution might create another problem. So explain the whole path to the interviewer. Next, emphasize the outcome. Describe the positive impact your solution had on the overall product and the business itself. Here's a sample answer. At one point, we faced a significant drop in user engagement for a key feature of our product. The feature was crucial for retention, so solving this issue was a top priority. I began by analyzing usage data to identify when and where users were disengaging. I also conducted customer interviews to understand their pain points, which revealed that the feature was too complex and not intuitive. After gathering insights, I collaborated with the UX and the engineering teams to simplify the user interface and streamline the workflow. We rolled out these changes in phases, conducting A and B testing at each step to measure the impact. As a result, engagement with the feature increased by 30% and customer satisfaction improved significantly. This approach not only solved the immediate issue but also provided us with a framework for handling similar challenges in the future. Moving on to the next topic, user experience and design. We have our first question. How do you ensure that the user experience is prioritized in product development? Now, with this question, the user is trying to check your mindset, that if you have a user-centric mindset, whether you keep the end user at the center of the product development process, then your integration of UX principles, how you incorporate user experience research, feedback, and design principles into product designs. Next, are you able to balance business and user needs? Your ability to balance business goals with the need for an intuitive and satisfying user experience. Next, your collaboration. How you work with designers, engineers, and researchers to ensure your user interface is not overlooked or deprioritized. Next, your use of data and feedbacks. Your process for using data, testing, and user feedback to validate UX decisions throughout the development process. Here's a sample answer. Prioritizing the user experience is essential for creating a product that resonates with customers and drives engagement. To ensure UX is always front and center, I start by collaborating closely with UX, UI designers and researchers early in the development process. We conduct user research, including interviews and usability testing, to understand pain points and gather insights into how users interact with the product. I make it a point to involve cross-functional teams in these discussions so that everyone understands the importance of user experience. We also rely heavily on data, using A and B testing, heat maps, and user analytics to validate design choices and ensure that any changes are positively impacting the user experience. Throughout the development, I strive to balance user needs with business goals, ensuring that while we are driving business outcomes, we never compromise on delivering a seamless and intuitive experience for our users. Next question. How do you collaborate with design teams to build user-friendly products? With this question, the interviewer is trying to check that now that you have the data, how are you going to use the data? Here's a sample answer. Collaborating with design teams is essential for building user-friendly products, and I approach this collaboration with a focus on open communication and shared goals. I believe in starting the design process by aligning on the user needs and project objectives, often bringing insights from user research to the table. Throughout the development cycle, I facilitate regular check-ins and brainstorming sessions to ensure that we're on the same page and that design decisions are informed by both user feedback and technical feasibility. For instance, in a recent project, we identified through user testing that users were struggling with the navigation of our app. By working closely with the design team, we iterated on the navigation structure, creating a more intuitive layout that improved usability. This collaboration not only enhanced the user experience but also increased user engagements significantly, showcasing the value of strong partnerships between product and design teams. Moving on, we have leadership and team management. How do you motivate your team during challenging product development phases? Well, with this question, the interviewer is trying to check your leadership style, your approach to leading and inspiring a team, particularly in high-pressure situations. Next, you have your team dynamics. How well you recognize the emotional and motivational needs of team members during challenging times. Next, your problem-solving ability to identify challenges that affect team morale and how you address them. Next, your communication skills, as in how effectively you communicate with your team to keep them focused and engaged. Next, your adaptability, your capability to adjust your motivational strategies based on the unique needs of the team and the specific challenges faced. Here's a sample answer. Motivating a team during challenging product development phase is critical for maintaining momentum and achieving our goals. I believe in creating a supportive environment where team members feel valued and heard. During tough times, I focus on open communication, encouraging team members to voice their concerns and share their ideas. Setting clear, achievable goals also helps the team see progress, even when faced with obstacles. For instance, during a recent project, we encountered significant delays due to unforeseen technical challenges. I organized regular check ins to discuss our progress, celebrate small wins, and adjust our strategy as needed. I also made it a point to recognize individual contributions, which helped boost the overall morale. As a result, the team remained engaged and focused, and we successfully delivered the product on time. This experiment reinforced the importance of fostering a collaborative and motivating environment, especially during difficult phases. Moving on, can you give an example of a time when you had to make a tough leadership decision? Again, you have to give an example. I faced a tough leadership decision once when our team was working on a product launch that was crucial for our company's growth. As we approached the deadline, it became clear that a key feature was not performing as expected during the test. I had to decide whether to delay the launch to fix the issue or go ahead as planned and address the problem post-launch. After discussing the implications with the team, I evaluated our options carefully, considering user expectations, potential revenue impact, and the technical feasibility of fixing the issue in time. Ultimately, I decided to delay the launch for a few weeks to ensure we delivered a high-quality product. While this decision was difficult, it was crucial to uphold our commitment to user satisfaction. After the launch, we received positive feedback from the users about the feature, validating our decision further. This experience taught me the importance of prioritizing quality and the long-term impact of leadership decisions. Moving forward to our last topic, business understanding. The first question we have, how do you ensure that the product decisions align with the overall business goals? With this question, the interviewer is checking your emotional intelligence, as in your ability to consider the impact of your decisions on team dynamics and individual team members. Next, your responsibility and your accountability, as in your willingness to take ownership of difficult choices and their outcomes. Followed by your critical thinking, as in how you handle challenges and uncertainties in a leadership role. Next, your problem solving, as in your ability to analyze the situation and weigh options to make informed decisions. Here's a sample answer. To ensure that product decisions align with the overall business goals, it's essential to start by thoroughly understanding the company's vision, mission, and strategic objectives. This involves continuous communication with key stakeholders, including leadership, sales, marketing, and customer support, to gain insights into their perspectives and priorities. By setting clear product goals that map directly to these business objectives, each decision can be evaluated from its potential impact on revenue, customer satisfaction, market positioning, or other key metrics. Regularly reviewing product performance against these goals and being open to iterative adjustments ensure that the product remains aligned with the broader business strategy while adapting to market changes. Next question. How do you analyze the financial impact of a product design? With this question, the interviewer is trying to check your financial literacy, as in your knowledge of key financial metrics such as profit margins, ROI, costs, and revenue. Next, your strategic thinking, as in whether you can connect product decision with their long-term financial impact on the company. Your risk assessment, how you assess financial risks and opportunities when making product decisions. Your analytical abilities, as in your process for evaluating financial trade-offs and potential outcomes of different product decisions. Then, your decision making, as in how you balance financial considerations with user needs and product strategy. Here's a sample answer. When making product decision, analyzing the financial impact is essential to ensure that we align with business goals. I typically start by looking at key financial metrics such as profit margins, ROI, and customer acquisition costs. For example, if we are deciding whether to launch a new feature, I first evaluate the development and operational costs associated with it. Then, I project the potential revenue it might generate by analyzing market demand, customer willingness to pay, and by associated risks. In one instance, we considered developing a premium feature that required significant resources. By calculating the expected ROI and comparing it to the projected increase in user subscriptions, we determined that the feature would significantly boost profit margins over time. This financial analysis helped us confidently move forward with the decision, ensuring that it does not only improve user experience but also had a positive impact on the bottom line. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching.